Good evening everyone, back again with another video for the channel. Tonight I have a very special guest on the channel tonight. I'll let him introduce himself. But before we get into that, tonight is all about testimonies. So call up your family, call up your friends, tell them to tune in to Miss Inspirational on YouTube. So guys, back again. As I said, we have a great testimony in stores for you. So I hope you call up your friend. I hope you call up your family members. I hope you told them to tune in. So before we get into letting my guest introduce himself, I just would like to thank each and every one of you for coming back to my channel. And if you are new here, do click on the subscribe button down below. Also click on the notification bell, that way you can get notified whenever I post a brand new video. So the floor is now open.
Good evening, YouTubers. It's an honor to be here tonight to share my experience on what I went through in Haiti concerning the earthquake. My name is Patrick Maku, better known as Taco. I'm married to this beautiful young lady that you see right here, so she brightened up my world, as you could see. And I thank God for her, for what she's doing. It's a very motivational show that she have to encourage people. She do all type of encouragement. And tonight I'm honored to share my little experience that I had, especially as we just passed an earthquake there in Haiti again. We just see it, and I could share my experience on what I went through and how it feel and how it had looked when I was down there.
Thank you so much, Patrick, for coming on the show, and we really and truly cannot wait to hear about your testimony. So guys, this testimony is a great one. There we really seeing the grace of God and the favor of God on someone's life. So Patrick, take it away.
As I was saying, it's a experience, and I wouldn't wish no one to go through what I went through. But sometime in life, God has allowed you to go through certain things to get your attention, and this was one of them. Back in 2007, yeah, I had a rough experience in the sense of I used to live my life anyhow, and when you're not following God the way you're supposed to follow Him, as soon as you step out of the realm and the grace of God, the enemy have free access to do what he wants with you, and could destroy your life at any time. But again, as I say, it's the grace of God that really kept me. 2007, I went through something very terrible. When I mean terrible, I was in prison. Before I was in prison, before you go fall in prison, you have to do something before. And basically, I went and get my own. It was not hard drug, but it's still drugs. Is marijuana. Back in 2007, and I went over there. I made some friends, and apparently I went for 1 week to organize everything, to bring back the stuff, and unfortunately I get caught. In the sense, coming back now with this marijuana, bringing them back to St. Martin. I get caught. They didn't hold me personally with anything, but being around the friends and the environment that I was around, and when they look in the camera, they saw that I was with them, so they put one and one make two. and then they hold me. I really wasn't expecting that, because as the Bible say, the love of money is the root of all evil. It's not the money. A lot of people that always say is money is the root. No, it's the love. The love of money is what is when you want it so bad, when you want to live a comfortable life, and you go after it. But as the Bible also says, is the blessing of God that make a one rich, and it comes with no sorrow. Because a drug man, or he will make a lot of money, but he will never sleep in peace. He always will look over his shoulder, because he could get robbed from his own friends. He own those that he sell to, those that he buy to. They could kill him, take him on. But when God bless you, He bless you and give you. You have no sorrow with it. Coming back to Saint Martin, we get caught, and they take us to a place, as we will say in French, garde à vue. That was just a little taste that when they take me to that place, it was very terrible. Imagine you're in a place where holding, like, let's say maybe 80 people, and then you have like 200-300 people in that place. You cannot lie down, you cannot sit good. So even for us to sit, we have to pay somebody to give me a place for me to lie down. And when you're lying down, with people breathing in your face and those stuff like that. So that was the first 4 days, I think, yeah. And then from there they take us to the big prison, which you call penitentiary. That's a very, very terrible. It's not like let's say Guadeloupe or Bemao, or Guadeloupe or Bastille. You will say in Bastille or Bemao, you're in a 5-star hotel, because you have television, you have comfort, you have a meal 3 times a day. You get up, you have coffee. You could choose what you want. If you want coffee, you could get coffee. If you want milk, you could get milk. If you want milk and coffee, chocolate, whatever. Your bread, you have butter, you have jam, you have all that in Guadeloupe. And Bemao and stuff like that. But in Haiti is way different. It's just like you're hopping, and they feed you what you want. If you do not have the access, if you don't have money to get certain comfort, you wouldn't get it. So that's done already an experience that I went through. But I thank God for keeping me. And also the Bible also says that if you lack wisdom, you could pray for it and God will give it to you. And that area, I use a lot of wisdom, because being from another country, not being from there, I had to adapt with the lifestyle that the Haitian them was living. Like, if I have something, I couldn't have, like, say, I cannot refuse them. I had a phone, and they wanted to do a phone call. It's not allowed to have phone, but being there, wanted to be in communication with my family. So I had to break that rule in a sense of buying a phone. But you're not allowed to lend people your phone. It's not allowed. It's not under the prison rules. I'm using my phone to help people that was in there for months and years without communicating with their family. And then so also it will helping them to get food. And by doing that, God allowed me also that those people that I help, that they will bring food, good food. Because the food in the prison, what they do, the guards, them, they take the meat, they take all the good stuff, and they give you the leftovers and stuff like that. And sometimes the food, it's, how you say that again? The food, sometimes it's half cooked. Sometimes they cook cornmeal or rice. The pot is so huge that the food is half cooked. So sometimes people get the rice that is not cooked. They get the cornmeal that is not cooked. So what happened? It swell the belly, you know, and give them make them look different. The belly swell, the head swell. You know, you see people with a side of the head swell. You know, I saw it all. I saw it all. I also saw that cell that was made for like 40 people. You have like over 300-400 people in it. You cannot sleep. I thank God for blessing us with finance also, that our family was able to send money for us so that we were able to buy a bed. And in the prison you have also you have bosses, which bosses, the prisoner self is there's their own boss. All the guy do is he just makes sure you don't escape, but there's bosses, and what they do, they look for those that have money and they put them comfortable. So every month you pay them whatever they want, you give them, so you could be secure and you could eat good and stuff like that. So that all of that, I went through all of that. Yeah.
And I believe our viewers out there, they would like to know, how old were you when all of this was going on?
I was 20, let me see. Yeah, I was 28, around 28 years old.
Young.
Yeah, 28. You know, I lived that experience. You know, I saw also people that they were sleeping, standing up. Their foot was swollen, big, and sometimes it busts. They just take them to the infirmary and then bring them back in the same position. But there was a lot of abuse concerning prisoner. Like me, I passed my time, way past my time, but there's nothing I could have do, because as I was saying, sometimes God has allowed you to go through certain things, because only there He could get your attention. He will talk to you, send brothers, sisters to you, and then you're not hearing. So certain situation He does allow, and still protect wise in that situation, protect, because I could have lost my life. I saw people dead every day, people kill people, you know. So it was very rough in a sense. That's how will you say that again? You know, I wouldn't love that the experience that I wouldn't love any young people to go through it. Wouldn't love to go through it, but you know, God gave me the grace, and I went through it, and I come out safe. And imagine there's a lot who didn't make it. So I thank God for that, and you know, let's try not for me to do the same mistake. Try my best to live the life that I'm supposed to live with God. But again, as I said, that it's not a place for human. Not a place for human at all. There's no bathroom. You're in a room and there's no bathroom where when you have to go, it's a plastic bag you have to use. Even outside, they have like they have different department for toilet, but there's no obviously, like here we could flush our toilet and you know the excrement will go. There's no one there is not like that. There's people that will come in the night, like maybe after 12 would shovel in those big tanks to take up the excrement and stuff like that. And sometimes if it stay over the time, if it stay more than a week, sometimes it stay more than a week, 2 weeks, sometimes it goes, and then what happened? It make worms. It make worms, and the worms that it make, it will start to come in the cell. Sometimes you lay them down and you feel cold stuff, cold little, and when you look, it's warm, so you have to tie your food stuff and bags and stuff like that. So it was very uncomfortable, very, very uncomfortable. As I say, and I tell people, even I realize even the work that I'm doing now as a plumber, that God trained me for that. I went through all of that, and that's why I'm not afraid of certain, situation that I end up in concerning toilet and stuff like that, you know. But God is good, and
All the time, all the time.
I give Him all the praise and thanks for, sometimes you say, I would have never liked to go through that, but I thank God that I went through it and that I could share my experience and let people know that God is good, because whenever the situation is difficult, God loves difficult situation. I would have never imagined, never one day imagined that I would have been in a place like that where your humanity is not respect, where your human right is violated, and I have a heart, when I mean a soft heart. I saw people suffer to the extreme. There's people that they suicide themselves, they suffer. I saw people went crazy. They went in the toilet and they started to eat.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw all of that. People that left go. The time was up and they there like for 2 years, just lacking one paper to get out. I saw innocent people, a lot of injustice, and once you're in there, the guards they're making more than their salary by just bringing in drugs, by bringing in phone, whatever the prisoner want. Once there's someone outside to supply him, they get all of that. So, but I thank God. Even while we were in there, we had a little group that we made. We used to pray, read our Bible and preach. I adopt their language by being, it's like I was there for 4 years, so I adopt their language, and I blend in with them. So there was no difference. God made me blend in with them, and I used to share the word, and that really fall in love with me in the sense of, you could still hear my accent a little bit.
Say something in patois for us to hear.
Eh ben, comme on dit ça, non, moi les mago Patrick, donc on est, bon, je suis pas ici, mais je vis pendant 4 ans dans le pénitencier Haïti.
Wow.
Et je suis content pour me faire petit témoignage ça avec madame moi. Même lorsque il va comprendre créole, mais bon.
I understand, not noisy. You sound just like that.
God bless me with it, and I thank God for it. And Haiti is a very nice place, and it's very nice. Before I fall in prison, I stay a week out there, and it's very nice. The people is very loving, they will love you. They treat me just like a prince. Every day, the people bring food to where I was staying and stuff like that, and it's a very, very nice place. And what I love with the Christianity up there is that they develop this praying 3 times a day. I never learned that here, but I read it in the Word of God. They really pray 3 times a day. In the morning, they pray in the afternoon, no matter what they're doing. Once 12 o'clock hit, they have to pray, even if for 10 minutes or hour, they will do it, and in the evening they will also. And it is a thing, if you're a Christian, you can't be no fake Christian over there. Can't be no fake. Yeah, if you're a Christian over there, you have to be rooted and grounded, because also the evil is very, very strong.
Yeah, we all know about the history, the background of Haiti.
It is very strong. You have people that work over there. They really fight against Christians. They fight. They plan to trap pastors, make them fall, send women in the back of them. They really fight against him. The enemy is really strong against even over there. When you're over in these places, not no playing. It's not no playing. If you're in, you're in. If you're out, you're out. You can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I saw some of them even try lose the faith in God, and it's not God's fault. So, here I would always encourage you to try your best. As no one is perfect, but no matter how the situation is, no matter how difficult it is, you have to always try and stay faithful to God,
Amen.
You
That
have to
is so
start,
true.
you have to strive to stay faithful to God. You can't play, you can't live in sin and try to serve God, because you would end up still serving the enemy. So what the enemy does, and he has what he does. One of his biggest deception, he make you feel comfortable. He make you feel like, yes, you're serving God, but you know your thing on the side. Everything good. He making you feel so, but things so. That's just to keep you. If God really open your eye and to see the environment you're living around, you will get frightened, and you will really give up, in the sense of you give up the lifestyle that you're living. The enemy, that's one of his biggest deception. He make you feel comfortable. You believe that what you're doing is good. God maybe know you're weak, or but it's a decision you have to make. I know even over there, there's stories that the people have been giving me, that they walking with God, and as soon as they just make a little mess up, bam, the enemy cut. The enemy, like, he waiting by the door for you. He waiting by the door. So my encouragement is, if you're walking with God, walk with God. Don't, because we can't fool God. We can't fool God. Even for myself, my life, I speaking for me, myself. When you're speaking, you have to speak for you first, and then you can be able to speak to others. And always make your life be an example. Make your life be an example. If you have your family, make sure you keep with your family. If you have even on your job, try to be an example.
Tell us how long you was in Haiti prison.
Well, from 2007 till 2010, nearly, I could say 3 years, 4 years, I stayed there.
And in 2010 was the earthquake, right, in Haiti?
Yeah, that was in 2010, the 12th of January 2010.
So during the earthquake, you was in the prison.
Yeah, I was in the prison lockdown.
So tell us about that part.
Well, that part, that one was very frightening. It was very hard, shocking. I was never expecting that. I could remember good. It was a Tuesday afternoon. We was eating, and you heard like a big wave. Like when you're close to the beach, you hear the wave coming in the sea. You hear that. As soon as we hear that, people holding peace. They really hear,
So the prison was by the beach?
No, it wasn't by the beach. You hear the noise. It was like a wave coming.
Okay.
And what you have people, because how that I told you, the prison was so full that people were sleeping all around the prison. You have bars, so people tie the sheet, they make them up out of them. And when the earthquake hit the building, those are the first people that start to fall. Everything, all the pots and stuff I hang up wasn't falling. People start to fall on you. Like, I always learn here in school, they teach us from a very young age. Otherwise, you go on a table or the doorpost or a bed. And like, I the only one that had a bed there. I try and run to go under my bed, and as I did that, people was already there.
Wow.
People was already on the bed, under the bed. What was amazing, and that was a miracle from God, I believe. You know, I always put it in a sense because God did it to save me. You do it maybe to save everybody, but I always put myself up because at that moment, something so amazing happened. The building itself leaned. The building leaned on one side, leaned, and then it come back up. I believe, cause I was looking up. I was looking at the ceiling because imagine I was on the, above me I had 4 floors. And I was looking at the floor and I was all at the ceiling, and all I was saying that God, not like this, not like that. I could remember those words that were coming out, not like this. Because I was expecting for it to collapse. As we see on the news now, how we see even now what happened Saturday. A lot of building collapsed, and then they up to now they can't get people from under there. And I was looking forward, but while the building leaned, when it leaned, everyone falls down in the corner, and when it come back up, everyone come back. And that was the 2.7 and change that happened, the magnitude. And at that time, as the earthquake stopped, we heard the keys fall, the keys, like someone dropped keys, and then we look, the guard passed running. Our little person was saying, open, because they was expecting like it was going to happen again. So the guard run, they leave the prisoner and run. So what happened now is the manpower, the guys they hold the bars, and they start to wrap the prisoner until you see the iron bars. Actually, the concrete started to break, and then it lift. It didn't come off completely, but it lift. And as soon as it lift, everyone was fighting for their life, and everyone tried to get out. But I could not move because it was so rough. But thank God that as I always say, I had good friends in there, and I could remember one of them saying, as he get out, when he get out, he said, "Wetako," and he said, "Wetako," because that's what they used to call me there also. It was me and the old man, and he pushed. He was a big strapped guy. Never forget. He pushed back. He moved everyone, and then he hold my hand and the old man hand, and he pushed us through. And this is how we get out, and we went in the yard. But
so the yard of the prison.
Yeah, the yard of the prison. We went there, and another amazing. What I mean is not amazing. It is a harsh. It was harsh. This is thing that they never said on the news. They will never say it also. As we get in the yard, they start to shoot the prisoners, which means I was actually getting shoot at. Gunshot. That was as certain songs we used to hear like back in the day. You say gunshot fall like rain, and gunshot was falling like rain, and people was dropping like fly. And as soon as the guard they start to shoot, the earthquake come back again. They come back, and it shake. What happened? The guns that they had, they fall out of their hand, and then the prisoner take the gun, and the prisoner killed all the guys.
Going on.
No, that stopped because the guns fall. Remember, it fall, and the guy was trying to find a way back. Because as anytime it have an earthquake, my experience, you can't walk, you can't move, because the ground is shaking so much that any step you make, it's like you're walking into a hole. You will just fall down. That's why I say that I prefer a category 10 hurricane than an earthquake.
My God.
Yes, you will get damage and house will blow, but imagine
you could take shelter.
You could take shelter, and you warn when the hurricane is coming. The earthquake, you're not getting warned. It just happens suddenly. We see Saturday what happened Saturday morning, I get up and that's the first thing I saw in the news, the earthquake that hit the other part of Haiti. And so the guards them was killing the people them, and the people them fight back and kill the guards. And I could remember one of my friends that I was in there with, that was from St. Martin. The guard, he told me, he held my hand and told me, let's go. And as soon as I was leaving, the old man that I was in the cell hold my hand and he tell me, listen, he said, do not go with those people, because if you go with them, they will shoot you on sight. Because imagine there was some big criminal, big names, you know. So I listened to the old man, because my grandmother always said listen to older people. So I remember that good and I listened to him and I stayed with him. And that's how I get out. We stayed there till about 8 o'clock in the night. But outside there was a war, because remember there's gangs. We have a lot of gangs. So the gangs was coming to get the bosses, so they were shooting all the guards and the police and all there, but we didn't know. So, cause we were hearing gunshot and everything going on out there. So as we went, the old man told me we can wait a little while. But I wasn't want to go because I was afraid I don't know Haiti. I don't have no family there, I don't know nothing. So he told me do not stay. If I stay there, when they come, they see the fellow guards there, they will just shoot anyone who are there. So I went with him. We walked for like I said, over 5 to 6 hours. And imagine the same thing that we saw on TV. Saturday, you're seeing people dead. We was actually walking over.
So you saw it in real life?
Real life. They were white as snow. You see mothers with babies, you know. You see a house that was collapsed, like live on a hill and blood run, like was one. Yeah, I saw all of that. It had like how you say that again? You hear a moaning, like, you know. It was just like the spirit of death was hovering over the area, and people was crying and bawling, just like how we see on the television, on the internet there lately. We saw that.
And while you was walking through the road and seeing all of that, did you like come to the conclusion of what really did happen? The fact that you're free, you're walking free. Did it hit you, or you was distracted by, you know, all of the dead people? And
it was like how you say that? I was amazed, and it was like a dream. You know, you've been locked up for so long, not knowing how you will come out, not knowing when, and you're out. But as you're out, you're seeing all those things, and freedom at that moment. I wouldn't say it didn't mean nothing, but you know because this is the first time that you experience something like that. I experienced something like that, earthquake, and seeing people dead. I watch it. I see movies, you know. You see people dead in the movie, but in real life, I have never seen it. I've never seen it, and I've never experienced it before until that day. And we was walking, but at the same time, you know, we remember we came from the prison, so we consider as escapee, we consider as dangerous people, so we cannot really tell people as we walk. And all people were saying is, yeah, you know, the jail mash up, I better watch out, and I better. But all the time we know we come from there, you know, and we was telling them, yeah, we know, we try to go. Say, I get up, I will try to go home. Because the criminal, they open, you know, things like that. And, you know, we walk for that. As soon as we reach by the old man, I will go remember that I fell far down. I was exhausted, and the one in the family, they had known me by my name, by my voice, and talking and told them on the phone, and they asked for me one time. They greet their father and stuff like that, but they asked where, they make sure I was, okay. And yeah.
Did the earthquake hit in that part of Haiti?
Yeah, it did hit over there. It hit,
But
yeah.
the home, everything was safe,
The
secure.
home, yeah, the old man home didn't collapse. It didn't collapse, but everyone was sleeping outside. No one wasn't taking the chance to sleep indoors. Yeah. And my brother have a daughter with a Spanish lady, and as soon as I called him that for the second time, she popped up the same time and asked, how your brother doing? And he said, but he just passed her the phone. He said, I got him on the phone. And she gave him the phone. That's God timing.
Yes.
And
yes.
from there, she told me, she said, you know what? I'm gonna send my sister to look for you. That was Friday, the Saturday. She said she gonna send the Saturday she will send her sister to look for me. And that is how I leave Haiti to reach to Santo Domingo without documents. That's how we got me, without documents. And imagine, I could remember on the bus, they were looking for people who come out of prison with paper and stuff like that. What was amazed what the girl did, she hugged me like we was together. She just hugged me and I put my shoulder on her. And when I could remember my eye was closed, but it was open slightly because I was fighting. And the guy, the soldier, it was a soldier with big gun, he looked at us and he just passed straight.
Wow.
That's how,
that's the grace.
That's the grace of God, and I thank God for that. Yeah.
And then went his way.
He looked past me and went his way.
That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable, because I imagine he could have stopped you.
Yeah,
and there, when he stopped you, he would have asked you for documents, and then boom.
Yeah, I had nothing to prove that where I was back home from, or where I was going. And but that's God's grace. When God starts something, He got to finish it.
Yes, and He completes it. Yes.
As the Bible said, the heart of man and God had to like a river, and He could guard it wherever He wants.
I love that.
And I really see that with God. Man ain't nothing with God. God gave man free will, but at the same time He could control. See how He did with Pharaoh?
Yes.
He had and Pharaoh had.
Yeah. And then He softened it.
Yeah.
Wow.
To deliver the children of Israel.
Okay, so now at this point you're in Haiti. So we want to see now, how did you reach home? I believe with no documents, no nothing. Next step is to reach home to St. Martin. So guys, this was the part 1 of Patrick's testimony. If you would like to see how he reaches home, make sure to tune into the part 2 that will be coming up really shortly, so just stay tuned. As I said in the beginning of this video, share it to your friends, share it to your family. This testimony, I really and truly believe that it can help someone. It is to show how God is so merciful, and His grace and His mercy is just on another level. So before we close off, Patrick, would you like to say something?
Well, I will, I always like to encourage, if you don't know the Lord, that's the first thing I would like to tell. If you don't know Him, know Him. There's a lot of different religion out there, a lot of different denomination out there, but the most important thing, as the Bible tells us, we have to know who we have to know. We have to know the way, the truth, and the life. Who's that? That's a person. That's Jesus. You have to know. You have to build a relationship with him. He's the truth. He will guide you in all truth. No matter what people tell you, no matter how they tell you, he is the one that you have to look forward to. He is the Son of God, the one who died for our sin, the one who rose again, the one who alone could defeat the enemy. God, the Bible says he was manifest. Remember that he was manifest to destroy the works of the devil. And he will destroy the work of the devil in your life.
Amen.
No matter what they plan, they could send Obia, they could do what they want.
Amen.
God will do that. So my encouragement is accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Serve him and him alone.
Amen.
That's my encouragement. And then he will show you the way.
So thank you so much, Patrick. And guys, stay tuned for part 2 of this video. Coming soon. Thanks, guys.
God bless.